We have 2 projects to do today, and I can't wait to share this journey with you. Hello family, welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. I am Vicki and you're with Grave in the Kitchen. So what are the 2 projects we're going to do? Well, first, I only have 3 slices of sourdough bread left. I know I need to make bread, start it today and finish it tomorrow, but I figure since we're going to do that, we're going to go ahead and do that experiment we talked about when we did bulk bread, where we kept it in the refrigerator, took it out a day or every other day for a week, and baked bread. That worked out perfect. And there in that video, we were talking about making a head, put it in the freezer, and then later taking it out of the freezer and let it do its bulk fermentation as it thaws. We're doing that experiment today. Plus, have you ever had kombucha? Have you bought kombucha at the store and noticed that the price is going up, 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 up? Well, I had a friend at my last Azure pickup gave me a SCOBY, so we're going to make our homemade kombucha. This is a 3-week process. So this video is going to be over a 3-week time, but by the time you see it, it's going to be one video. So we're starting that today also. But first, I want to get started on the bread, the 2 loaves, the one I'm going to bake today and the one we're going to put in the freezer. Now this is just my basic sourdough bread. I fed my sourdough starter last night before I went to bed. It's nice and bubbly, risen, and it's beautiful. Not sure if it's going to show on camera, but that's where it was when I fed it last night, and it is way up here, and it did rise up, and it's starting to settle, so we need to use this. So in this bowl, I'm going to put 100 grams of sourdough starter, 108 is close enough, and now the second bowl, the same thing. One of these bowls we're going to cook tomorrow, the other one we're going to put in the freezer. And now I need 325 grams of water, 326 is close enough. 325 grams of water in this bowl. 326, good enough. We need 20 grams of honey. 22, perfect. And 22. I want to get the starter, the water, and the honey mixed together. And we're going to add 475 grams of all-purpose flour. And 10 grams of salt. We're going to mix that together until it's a shaggy mess. And after 2 hours of 30-minute stretch and pulls, it will not look like this. So for every 30 minutes, we're going to come in here and do the stretch and pulls for the next 2 hours for a total of 4 stretch and pulls. One, I'm going to leave on the countertop and let it do its bulk fermentation for about 12 hours before we shape it and put it in the refrigerator. The other one, I'm going to put in the freezer. So I'll see you in about 2 hours for the bread. But in the meantime, we're going to make kombucha. So I have some boiling hot water. It's about a quart. And I have 8 black tea, organic tea bags. I removed all the little paper things, tied them together. I'm going to leave it in there for 5 to 10 minutes. So what do we need to make homemade kombucha? First, you need a SCOBY and a pellicle. Pellicle. I'll put the word right there because I don't know how to pronounce it. You can ask a friend. You can buy these. You can actually make them homemade and grow your own. With store-bought, I've never done that. I've always either bought it or asked a friend. So a friend of mine gave me her SCOBY. You're going to need organic black tea. That is to make the original kombucha. There are other ways you can do. You can use green tea bags and make a June, J-U-N, kombucha. You can actually use coffee and make a coffee kombucha. And then there's another one made with white tea bags. I don't know what that's called. I'll look it up and I'll let you know. You don't want to use herbal teas or flavored tea bags. You want them just plain black, green, or white, or coffee. I'm using black tea bags, so I'm going to let that sit there for 5 to 10 minutes. You're going to need a gallon-sized jar with a freezable cotton cloth to cover. A way to secure that fabric, a rubber band would be better. I don't have a rubber band that fits this opening, so I'm using a piece of string and I'm going to tie that on. And you're going to need some sugar. I'm using organic cane sugar I get from Azure Standard. I have organic tea bags, organic sugar, and my friend said this is an organic SCOBY. So our kombucha is going to be organic. We're going to leave it in here for 2 weeks, covered, undisturbed. Then after 2 weeks, we'll remove our SCOBY, 2 cups of our starter so we can brew it again, and the remainder we can flavor. So I have these bottles. I picked this up from Amazon. It's the bottles that have the snap lid. And you want something that the lid will secure tight. After our 2 weeks in this jar, we're going to put them in these bottles and we can flavor it. And that's where the fizziness comes from. Kombucha is a natural carbonated drink that has no carbonation. It builds its own. And that is all you need to make kombucha. Now, if you have bought kombucha in the past and you've saved all of those bottles with the lids that go with those bottles, you can reuse those. I've actually done them in mason jars with a new lid and the rings. It works fine. I like these because, well, they're cute. But we won't need these for 2 weeks. We still have about 6 more minutes left on this tea, and then we'll go ahead and get started on our kombucha. So it's been 5 minutes. Let's go ahead and take out the tea bags. You do not want to squeeze the tea bags because you don't want any sediment from the tea bags to get into your kombucha. So just let it drip, no squeezing. And that is done. We're going to add a cup of sugar. We're going to stir that until the sugar is completely dissolved. We're going to pour it into our gallon jar, and this has been cleaned. And I forgot to tell you, we use filtered water to make the tea, and then we're going to be adding filtered water to cool it down. So we want about a total of 3 quarts of water and tea in this gallon-sized jar. We want to make sure our tea is between 70 to 85 degrees. Anything lower will prohibit the growth of your kombucha. Anything higher will kill your starter. I am reading 91 degrees, so we're going to wait a few minutes and let this cool off. So I put a lid on my tea and I stuck it in the refrigerator to let it cool down. It's been about an hour and it's 79 degrees. Perfect. As you can see how dark this tea is at the moment. This is a starter that the friend gave me. It's 1 cup. This is what color it's going to be in 2 weeks. Can you believe that? So our tea is at the right temperature. We're going to go ahead and add the starter. Make sure it's stirred in perfect. And here's our SCOBY. Just looks like a giant booger. I want to place that in there. It should float, but if it doesn't float, it is fine. So this is done for right now. I'm going to cover it with a breathable cotton cloth. And I did find a rubber band, which is perfect. So you want to put a rubber band. Now we need to find a place where this can sit undisturbed. But in 2 weeks, we're going to come back to this kombucha and see what we have. And we can move on to the flavoring and the carbonation part. So I need to put this in the pantry in a cool place. And you want to make sure where you're putting it to do its fermentation, it's going to be somewhere in 70 to 85 degrees. You don't want it any colder than that, and you definitely don't want it any hotter. And as for the bread, I just did the 3rd stretch, pulls, and fold. I have 1 more to go. We have 26 minutes left to this, Then we'll bring it back and then we'll move on to the next step. We are done. I've already done 3 stretch and pulls. Look how much it has changed. It's perfect. This is the 4th and final. We're just going to go around on all 4 sides. Give it a stretch and fold it. And then we're going to do this one the same way. Perfect. So I have a plastic square container lined with parchment paper. Let me wash my hands really quick. This bread we're going to leave on the counter and let it do its bulk fermentation for about anywhere between 8 to 12 hours. We'll take care of that tonight. This one, is going to be going into the freezer, and we'll take care of this in about a week or 2. I want it to be frozen hard, solid, before I take it out of the freezer to see if we can make our bread and store it in the freezer for later use. In the freezer this goes, and now I get to wash dishes. So we have our kombucha made. It's in the pantry on one of the shelves for 2 weeks, undisturbed, of an ideal room temperature between 70 and 85 degrees. I know the pantry stays right around 70 degrees, even with the heat and the AC on, so it's okay. This will take care of tonight for tomorrow baking, and the other one's in the freezer. It has been 2 weeks since we made our kombucha. I'm pretty excited, family, because now we can flavor it and have fresh, homemade kombucha whenever we want. I do want to taste it. Now, there are some pH strips you could get to test it for the pH balance. I'm just going to taste it. I have a clean plastic spoon. Just have just a little drop. It doesn't taste like tea anymore. It's slightly sour, but not like vinegar. Let me show you my scobies in here, family. So right there is the original SCOBY that our friend Tammy gave us. And right there, we're growing a new SCOBY. You'll get a new SCOBY each and every time you brew kombucha. And if you look inside, you should see no fuzz or mold or anything. It should be completely clear. And we have that. I'm so proud of this. I went ahead and brewed another batch of tea. That's water I brought to a boil, and I have tea bags in here. Just going to let that seep. Now, I washed my hands. You want to make sure you have clean hands when you are going in and touching your kombucha. I want to take out this SCOBY. That's the new SCOBY. And I want to go ahead and take out the old one. Perfect. I'm going to set that aside. I want to measure out 1 cup of our kombucha. That's going to be our starter fluid for the next batch. Perfect. Now we can set that aside. And I do want to strain what's in here because I do have some SCOBYs that are forming, and I don't want that in my final product. Now, these bottles I had picked up from Amazon. They have a pressure lid, and that's what we want. to make sure our kombucha will be under pressure and it's going to build natural carbonation. I went in the freezer and grabbed a bag of frozen blueberries. And I'm going to put about 10 in each jar. Now you can go more or less, and this is all trial and error. And now I'm going to fill it up to halfway up this bottle neck with our brewed kombucha. Whoop, too much in that one, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and get 2 more bottles ready just in case. Okay, looks like I can get 5. That is perfect. The rest of this, we'll just let it be part of the starter. I'm just got a clean paper towel. I'm just wiping the rims. And now we can go ahead and lock down that lid. Let's lock that one down. I'm going to place the SCOBY in here. Go ahead and add the rest of the starter until our tea cools off. We can go ahead and remove the tea bags. So that was 8 tea bags. All the paper and the staples removed, and just had to steep it in some hot water. We're going to add 1 cup of sugar. Stir that until the sugar is melted. And I've used filtered water. I used the water from the Berkey to make the tea. Plus I have water in this blue pitcher, all from the Berkey. You want to use filtered water because most city waters or county waters has fluoride or other things in the water. We don't want that. And when you no longer hear, the sugar granules hitting your pan, then you know you're ready. I'm going to add some water to this pot to cool it off because we want our tea to be between 70 and 85 degrees. That's reading 97 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and dump it in our same gallon-sized jar we used the last time. You don't have to clean it or anything. As long as it didn't grow any mold or anything, we can just keep building on this. Perfect. I can go ahead and add some more water. I want to make sure I leave enough room for our starter. Stir that a bit. Let's see what the temperature is now. It's reading at 86 degrees, so I'm going to let it sit right here for about 5 minutes. Check it again, and then we can move on. And our frozen sourdough bread experiment. Wrapped it up in the parchment paper that I had in that black plastic container. Once it became hard, I put it in a Ziploc bag. I'm going to put it in this bowl. We'll cover it with plastic wrap. And I'm just going to leave it right here on the counter until it thaws, and we can let it do its bulk fermentation, because remember last time we did the stretch and folds and then we just put it right in the freezer. I want it to thaw so we can do its bulk fermentation, and then we can shape it, put it in the refrigerator, and then we'll bake it. Family, I am hoping this is going to work. So that is the bread experiment. Let's check on the kombucha. Okay, we are at 84. Perfect. Now I told you we had the original SCOBY and we had the old SCOBY. I am going to put them both back in here. And once my SCOBY, the new SCOBY, grows a little bit more, I won't need the old SCOBY. Add our starter fluid. Perfect. So we're going to let this sit on the shelf in the pantry for 2 weeks, and we'll just repeat the process over and over again, and we will have fresh homemade kombucha that is cheaper than anything you could buy at the store. So our second brew of kombucha, it's going to do its thing. As for these 5 bottles, I am going to leave them on this countertop for 5 days. Then after the 5 days, we'll put them in the refrigerator for at least 24 hours, and then it'll be ready to drink. I'm excited. I don't know if it will show up. We're starting to get some fizz in here. That is a natural carbonation, and that's what we want. We want it to carbonate. So when we pop this, it's going to be just like any other soda out there, but it's natural carbonation, homemade kombucha. Each one of these bottles probably cost me about 50 cents. If I'd have bought this at the grocery store, each one of these bottles would have cost me $5. So excited. Now, how often can you drink kombucha? Well, it's a probiotic. It is gut healthy, gut healing, natural drink. Too much, you'll be in the bathroom a lot. So I'm planning on drinking one about every other day. So I'll drink half one day, half another day, and that should last me almost to 2 weeks until we're ready to start with this one. I will see you in 2 weeks for this, but we'll be back sooner, hopefully, to take care of this bread. It's got to thaw, ferment, and shape. I'll bring you right back. So it's been about 36 hours since we flavored our kombucha. So it's still sitting on the counter. In about another 36 hours, we'll be able to put this in the refrigerator. Our bread dough that we had frozen has been sitting on the counter the whole 36 hours. It finally thawed. It took about 12 hours for it to thaw. And I just left it here because I haven't had time to get to it. But we're going to go ahead and shape this. and it did rise, so we know it's alive and active. So putting dough in the freezer, I think it's going to work. Put a little bit of flour down on my bench. Sprinkle a little flour on the top. Just makes it easier to get out. Flour my fingertips really well. Let's go ahead and start pulling this out. All right, I'm going to go ahead and shape it. It's a little stickier than normal, but that's okay. We're going to still use it. Just folding it in on itself. And I'm going to make this an artisan bread. And if the weather permits, I'm actually going to bake this in the sun oven tomorrow. I'm just folding it into itself until it becomes a little tight. It is sticking to my surface and my fingers. It is very, very, very sticky. More so than normal. I think we're finally getting somewhere. I think we're good. So I have a clean bowl. And some parchment paper. Give the parchment paper a good sprinkle of flour. That is good. I'm going to put top side down. A little bit of flour on the bottom. And in a bowl. And I'm going to put this in a refrigerator, and then tomorrow morning we'll get the sun oven out, weather permitting, and we'll cook this outside. If not, we'll cook it in the house. So I'll see you in the morning. I told you yesterday we were going to cook this bread in the sun oven. I looked at the forecast, and it said it was going to be cloudy all day. It's sunny. Go figure. But when I got up this morning, I just went ahead and put it in the oven. Don't worry, we're going to do this in the sun oven one day. But this is our frozen dough. We made the dough, and for 2 hours we did the stretch and pulls and fold. Then we stuck it straight into the freezer. Then we took it out of the freezer, let it thaw, do its bulk fermentation. Then yesterday, I shaped it, put it in a bowl, put it in the refrigerator. And this morning, I got up and cooked it. I'm not completely happy with this. I want to show you something. It didn't rise as big as I wanted. It's pretty flat. I cooked it in the Dutch oven, 45 minutes, 375 degrees with the lid on. Took the lid off and cooked it for an additional 15 minutes. It's done. It was 210 degrees, but it's not big and fluffy. Now I gotta see what it looks like on the inside. It's pretty dense, but I'm not going to waste it. It's not light, airy, and fluffy, but we're going to use it anyway. I want to taste it. It seems heavy. The sourness is perfect. And I noticed when I was shaping it yesterday that it was a little bit more sticky than normal. I wonder if I need to add more flour to the mix before I freeze it. We're going to have to experiment with this again. Now this won't go to waste. I will eat it. I don't have a problem with that. Or we can always turn it into bread cubes, and then we can have dry bread to make other things with, such as stuffing. Or we can turn those bread cubes, grind them up, and we can have bread crumbs for breading different proteins for the oven. So we can cook with that. I think we need to revisit this again. As for the kombucha, we had put 10 blueberries in each one of these bottles. We ended up with 5 bottles. This is day 3. So in 2 more days, I can put this in the refrigerator. And then on the 6th day, we can drink it. I'm excited. I'll bring you back when we're ready to sample our blueberry kombucha. Well, it's time to sample the kombucha. I'm excited. As for that bread, like I said, it flattened. It didn't rise as big as I wanted it to. So I cut it up to cubes, stuck it in a 200-degree oven for about 3 hours. Every 30 minutes, I went in to give it a good toss, make sure everything is drying out evenly. And then the Ninja blender that's back there in the corner, I just pulverized it. Now we have sourdough breadcrumbs. Super simple. Nothing went to waste. Our new batch of kombucha is 1 week old today. I have this in the pantry in the dark so that it can do its fermentation. We have a new SCOBY growing. We have no mold, which is important. Our original SCOBY is looking good, and the SCOBY we grew on the last batch also looks good. So next week, I'll take care of this. As for the blueberry kombucha, are you ready, family? I know I am. Now, when you're opening these pop tops, you want to make sure you open it away from your face, just in case there's enough pressure underneath it, it'll blow the whole top off. You're protected. Let's see how much carbonation we have. So there's a little carbonation. I think it could have stayed on the counter just a little bit longer. And just like any other fermented foods such as yogurt, sourdough, sourdough bread. It needs carbs to feed it. And that's where the fizziness or the carbonation comes from. I probably should have smushed the blueberries so they'll add more sweetness to it. We'll do that next week when we're ready to take care of this one. But let's taste our kombucha. Oh, family. It doesn't taste like tea anymore. That is really good. It's so refreshing. And it's gut health. It's good for your body. It's natural because we're using organic black tea, organic sugar. I have blueberries that I had in the freezer from last year when we went blueberry picking. Delicious. So if kombucha is something that you drink, but you want to make it yourself, please look on Marketplace. Ask a friend. Ask someone who, if they know somebody who makes their own kombucha and you can get a SCOBY. You can actually buy them. I think Amazon sells it. And I believe Azure Standard sells it because I did buy one several years ago. The first time I made kombucha, but like I said, I got this from a friend of mine. She gave it to me and now I'm able to make kombucha. So if you don't mind, give this video a thumbs up. While you're at it, please subscribe. I will absolutely love to have you part of the Grammy family. So until next time, y'all have a blessed day. Bye. And considering this is probably about 50 cents and it costs over $5 for a bottle at the grocery store, not too bad. That's good.